What's going on, you beautiful fur balls? This is probably the saddest video that I'm going to make. It is true. I did sell all of my Gala that I've been hodling for 4 years. Um, and there's lots and lots of different reasons. I chewed on it a whole bunch, try to make the best decision for myself, but want to jump into what's going on, why I did this, and really just the pain. So most of you aware, I've known for the past week, seeing kind of the Discord chatting and everything, that Benefactor is going to head and go and make a 1 million Gala stake requirement for every founder node. Okay. There's about 32,000 founder nodes running. His idea was 1 million per founder node would make all 50 billion tokens be staked. But of course, not all 50,000 founder nodes are sold and or in the hands of normal people. And because he has 14,000 nodes or whatever. So he might have the funds to go ahead and do that, though, and put 1 million per node. Who knows? Anyways, not getting off track here. Here's his Twitter, kind of what he was discussing, asking people if they wanted to stake 1 million Gala or not. You can see the comments and the retweets and the likes. We'll talk about that later because of how many just fake bots there have been on the Twitter feeds for, well over a year now. And so he went ahead and did finally announce, officially that this is going to happen. He says, pay attention. In June, we will implement phase alpha of the 1 million node staking requirement. So in short, sometime in mid-June, you will have to have some form of Gala on galachain to earn from your founder node. Now, I say some form or percent because they are going to make it a percentile, meaning if you have 100,000 Gala on your node or whatever, then you'll earn 10% of the distribution. But if you want that 100% and then for everything to remain the same, you will have to have 1 million Gala. Now, I was in the Discord and a lot of people were as well trying to come up with other ideas, discussions. And when I say ideas, it's because when things like this come down in Gala or from Eric, it's gonna happen, right? So for me, it's like, okay, well, how can we kind of blunt this or improve it or whatever, right? Versus just saying don't do it, all right? Because that's what the majority of people here in this chat say. Because if you look at the comments, there's 137 comments, but you can only see like 8. Okay, which means all the other ones are negative and have been hidden on the Twitter timeline, which means, like 6% of you have neutral or positive comments about this. And so obviously we know this is going to really, really hurt things. The goal here and why he did this, right, is to simply try to pump the price to give Gala more runway and, give them more funds to continue on for however much longer, they're going to be able to. Now, everything I'm saying, right, is not financial advice. It's not 100% truth. I'm guessing to the reason. But to me, it's pretty clear that we're just trying to kind of manipulate the price, cause this squeeze in hopes that the price will rise because, all these normal people will buy a bunch of Gala, which I don't think, 32,000 founder knows that all these people have $20,000 to throw into Gala right now to pump the price. And even if, right, people buy a whole bunch of the token, and I did the math and the numbers, we got to have like $80 million of new money invested into the Gala token from retail, right? To bump it from the like two cents it's at right now to 3 cents. Okay. So to get that 50% increase, we need like an 80 million, $100 million kind of like push in there. And this is like the math I did. Okay. So of course I could be wrong, blah, blah, blah. But let's talk about some options you have and whether you could win. One thing we did do in Gala Gold, and he said, okay, that sounds good, is talking about burning Gala NFTs to account for the staking. Meaning, let's say you bought like the town of Marquee or something super expensive on Mirandus, or just a whole bunch of Miranda stuff, or Tweety stuff, or Spider Tanks, who knows, right? But you'll be able to burn that for whatever like the value was when it was purchased, supposedly, right? Which means if you had some Spider Tank maps, you could literally just burn a handful of those and quote could meet the 1 million staking requirement. Okay, which sounds good, but the promises that I hear all the time and what I've been told in the past and have had things said to me to my face by Gala haven't come true, or promises have been dropped. So it's not super surprising that I am extremely skeptical on when the G stake will come. Obviously, it's not coming now, right? They talk about future phases will bring the dead NFT burning. So it's not now, right? Which I think is totally wrong. Because why? We want to pump the token. That's the whole point, right? They don't want to do the burning NFT thing right away because then that would just blunt how much token's going to get bought up and how much Gala is going to be able to sell. Because remember, they get 50% of the distribution every day. Obviously, they're not going to have to stake to the million or whatever to continue to get their distro. That's the only way Gala is able to make funds right now. Maybe Townstar makes a little bit of funds from some sales, but we know it's not going super great. One thing I wanted to mention was, if you look at CoinMarketCap, you look at some of just the analytics of Gala, right? 94% are holders, meaning like been holding Gala for over a year, right? So a huge portion are people just holding. And then if you look at the whales versus others, right? What we're going to get happen here is any of the whales, if they actually are holding like a whale amount of Gala, because they might not be either. They might have been selling forever as well. But if they're holding a huge amount, they'll be able to stake, a fair amount to their nodes. And then, of course, they'll get richer and the small fish will get poorer is kind of the idea here in my head, my mind. For Gala Games, we've been cutting everything, right? So honestly, to me, it's just a matter of time before, unfortunately, Mirandus will be the last kind of thing standing for development before it gets cut. Townstar's been around this whole time. It's actually done, fairly well. Probably made them some pretty good revenue. Champions Arena is a third-party game, and Legends Reborn's gone. Last Expedition's gone. Eternal Paradox is a third-party game, and then Mirandus is kind of the last thing standing here, right? And once they kind of run out of funds, this will be the next thing to die. Because we had Tweety, which was being developed by the Chilean team too. Now it's dead. Last Expedition gone right now. And so honestly, Mirandus will probably be the next thing down the road. It was the most hope. Still super sad that Michael McCarthy and the team got popped off because they were in a great position, making great progress, and I think Mirandus could have really turned into something. Other things going for Gala, which is what I'm trying to do, is cover like, okay, what does Gala have left? Mirandus Townstar, Gala Film. Now, I heard Witchboard is going to be launching in August, so that could be cool. Maybe that brings on a little bit of onboarding, but at this point, for 4 years, everything's just been too slow progression, too slow of growth, and guys, it really hurts me, right? I'm being so honest, like, I've been super, super developed and into Gala for these 4 years. And so it's sad, but I'm just really tired, guys. I'm tired of the hopium. I'm tired of the stress. And so that's why I went ahead and sold my couple million Gala. I had enough Gala to cover maybe about 50-60% of my node distribution if I would have just, kept everything as is and staked and everything. And that's running it for years and years and years, right? So if you've been running it for years and years and years and you got in kind of late like I did, right? So you paid a way high premium for the nodes. You're nowhere close to getting still the million tokens, right? You'd have to buy up the rest. And then, not to mention the people who on NFT Harbor are purchasing secondary nodes. Holy moly, guys, you guys really got screwed because you bought some nodes on the secondary, and now if you want to run them, you got to pay at $20,000 a node to get the Gala token up, unless, of course, the Gala token dumps. So a couple things here that I don't want to miss that I wanted to discuss too. Was, one question I had was, will Gala include any Gala on ETH? I'm sure it won't. It'll be on galachain. And I wasn't okay putting my couple million Gala onto galachain. What if it gets locked in, or I can't move it, or I can't sell it? Just all these concerns, right? Because if anything goes down or bad news comes out, you have to try to rush everybody else to get your Gala off of galachain onto ETH to sell, right? And I'm not looking forward to doing that either. Like I said, I have like a little bit over 50% of the stake goal since 2021 of me running everything. 32,000 founder nodes. And let's see here. I did a bunch of math with these nodes. Doing the math and how much Gala is on galachain right now, definitely at least 4,000 nodes will probably be at least able to run. That is a huge cut down, so there will be an equilibrium, okay? So don't forget this either. There will be an equilibrium. What I mean by that is, if there's only 4,000 nodes running, you'd be earning about $38 a day at the current price, which is not bad. That's like $1,200 a month. But if you have no Gala right now, you got to invest $20,000 worth of Gala to earn that 1,200 Gala a month or $1,200 a month. And that's just me guessing if there's only 4,000 nodes, right? I don't know how many nodes are going to be or how much, people are going to be pushing in. But if we want to get up to like, 7,000 nodes, 6,000 nodes, we're talking about like $100 million of Gala that has to be bought up, which sure could pump the token price to like, 3 cents or 3.5 cents, maybe. But now you have whales that maybe already have the Gala, so they're keeping it staked. Everything extra they're earning, they're just going to sell off, especially if the price does go up at all. And the reason I sold, because yeah, you guys are gonna say, right? Wookie, you might have sold too early. Maybe there will be a little pump here, and you could have sold at a better profit, better price. It's true, it's possible, but guys, I'm just tired of thinking about it. I'm tired of stressing about it. Tired of trying to decide like where our top is gonna be. If you look at the past year or two here, like on TradingView, and see where our like past little highs have been. 8 cents, that was pretty wild. That's probably the best we're ever going to see again, in my opinion. The next time around, we were like, above 5 cents here, peaking out at maybe 6 or so. And that was a year. So this is like a year time frame in between these, right? What was that, like March, 24? This one was like, December 24. So a fair amount of time in between each one. We got the RSI. It's looking pretty good, but really I use this stuff more for Bitcoin, right? More stability. This is just going to have more volatility. So, we're up at 2 cents. I thought, hey, that's like 50% up off the month. So why not? I thought that was a good price to sell at. I think a lot of nodes are going to get dumped. But who even wants to buy a node, even if they're $1,000 a pop, right? You have to buy $20,000 worth of Gala for you to be able to run it. So, like what's the point? Okay. Worst case, right, for me, okay, I said, okay, I'm going to sell my couple million Gala. So instead of staking it, I did decide to sell it. And I figure, hey, if they actually meet their promises and they get the G stake thing going later, then great. I can go ahead and burn a bunch of freaking NFTs that I have on Gala, right? I got like 10,000 things on galachain, okay? A whole bunch of things. And so I could burn them and get that G stake and then be able to, run my nodes again, okay? That's my hope. And, that'll be my last thing where, hey, I'm doing something based on your promise. So if this promise does not get fulfilled, then sure, I'm not going to get ever to run them again. And that's not my fault. That's because, you guys told me XYZ and then changed it around. But that's my honest here, guys. Gala film. They got this Gala government thing that they got going on. Really at this point, if you're still holding and stuff, you're hoping for maybe a little bit of a squeeze when the news goes crazy and out there that you got to have a million Gala and that some people have some liquidity to buy there. But man, I'm putting my liquidity into other chains and stuff, right? I mean, we got Avalanche. I mean, they have been pulling so many gaming projects to them, and they're really looking like they're going to be a pretty solid gaming chain. I even spoke with a publisher just a couple days ago that has millions and millions of dollars, have great background in like RuneScape, all kinds of cool stuff, right? Web3 gaming will be a thing, okay? Somebody's going to nail it. It's going to go great. There's other projects I'm looking for. Oh, I will say, I am keeping my founder nodes. I'm not dumping them because, again, I can maybe G stake later if I burn some NFTs. And I know some projects coming up that are going to give a little bit of love to founder nodes that are not Gala related specifically, but they're doing some loving quality things for founder node owners. So I am going to squat and just sit on my nodes. I'm not going to sell them or anything. But yeah, if something happens and Gala gets a government contract, cool. That might actually pump the token. You might get lucky. Again, by that point, they should have the G stake going, but we know how slow their development is. Anytime they've said things, anytime we voted on things, it takes a long time. So I'm not going to hold my breath. Oh, and then of course, yeah, we didn't vote on this because, screw governance. We don't care about that anymore either. Oh, man, guys. So yeah, 4 years and I'm making this video. I am really sad, because I'm only getting back like 17% of my ROI from what I invested into the nodes only, not to mention all the NFTs. I'm sure it's even lower. So, yeah, guys, I'm going to spend my energy on projects that are really great and just work really well with folks and KOLs and stuff too. That's one thing with Gala is they've been using like Coinbound and stuff to, run a lot of their Twitter stuff, marketing, whatever. But when you look through a lot of stuff, I mean, and how many things are just straight up just botted likes, botted retweets. I mean, it does nothing for you. It does nothing at all. It would be better to spend that money on a handful of KOLs, honestly. I mean, once they cut out all the KOLs and stuff, I mean, you're not bringing any kind of love, any kind of hype. Nobody's talking about you, you know. Everybody's talking about off the grid, Maple Story, all these things, right? So their marketing has just been dismal for a very, very long time as well. So that's a bummer. I could go on for so freaking long, guys, about all these different aspects, but I just wanted to be honest, truthful with my community, where I'm at, what I'm doing, because I didn't want you guys to feel like I'm just sneaking out of here or anything. I'll keep covering Gala as things progress, like I always do. I want to always give you guys kind of the up to date and stuff, but that's where we're at, guys. Let me know what you think. Maybe we get a small little squeeze. Maybe I did make a mistake, quote unquote, but I'm good with it, guys. I'm at peace. 2 cents, whatever. That was good for me. Sold my couple million Gala that I've been holding forever, and got that small amount back. So it is what it is. I'm not gonna cry over spilt milk if it goes up, to 3 cents or something. And if it does, good job, guys. RSI is gonna top out here shortly, so maybe you get a little bit more. But that's where I'm at. Not financial advice. Obviously I'll be around for all the other projects. Let me know what you think down below. As always, stay warm, Wookiees.